Okay, so this is how this is going to go. I am in the motorhome right now. You're watching the John Deere 7530 pulling the brand new baler. Now, there are always startup issues, no matter what it is, whether it's brandy spanking new or whether it's the old baler. And I honestly thought that the new baler was going to give me a bit of an ass ache, but it turns out that that just really wasn't the case. It was the old baler. There was a piece of dirt. Yes, a piece of dirt. It's more than a piece of dirt. It was hard packed, dried on material that was stopping the knotter trip mechanism from stopping the knotter from cycling, which is really weird because I ran this baler at home and I ran the baler here in North Carolina, and we didn't have any issues there until yesterday when we go to the field and it was cycling the needles to knot every single time. So, yeah, well, not really a huge problem for that particular baler to deal with, it just cycles. But every slice of hay or every flake of hay had strings around it, and we did have a knotter screw up because the tension wasn't tight enough to strip the knot from the bill hook, which is also a problem that I have to rectify yet this morning. It's not a big deal. It's just a little bit. So we did about 20 acres, maybe 20 acres, pulled 48 bales off of 20 acres, which doesn't sound like an awful lot of straw. It may not even have been a full 20 acres, but it was something like that. So, you're looking at like 2 point some bales to the acre, which isn't exactly record setting. Of course, in the Instagram videos, you're going to hear or read comments that, oh, they're cutting that straw awful high. Well, again, this is the startup. This is the first wheat that they're cutting since soybeans last fall. And you know what happens when that happens? You got to polish up your header. So the outside rounds, they left about 10 inches of straw on the ground. They didn't cut it, but when they got in towards the interior of the field, they did start to cut it so that it was about 4 inches of stubble left behind, which is where we kind of want them. I want them to be as low as possible and to get the most material out, and it'll increase their thrashing ability as well. But they all know that. This is nothing new to them. These are some class act farmers. They know what they're doing. They are no different than me. It's really crazy. They just have a different accent than I do, but they got a good work ethic. Now, it is 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not over to the field yet because I'm still busy with other things. I got a crew of 6 people that I have to deal with before I get to going. Now, it's okay because there's absolutely no straw on the ground. We will not sleep until all the straw is baled at night. So we will be having multiple farmers cutting on multiple different farms. One farm is 7 miles away, so when we catch up to one farmer, we can shoot over to the next farmer and then on to the next farmer because they're going to be putting soybeans in behind it. And I just have to continue to keep those guys where they need to be. I have to be ahead of them. So this crew it's a slow start, which is normal. The 7530 is the other problem. So the new baler is working like a sewing machine. It's putting out 1,000-pound bale, right now because I'm only using 440 knot strength twine. If they would have bought me the 550 or the 600 or the 625, we would be putting out a 12 to 1,500 pound bale of straw, but they didn't do that, so that's okay. If they bought us a heavier knot strength twine, we would have had to renegotiate the price per bale just because, it's just the way it is. And we're just getting it. We're just getting a feel for the old gal, So, anyways, the 7530 has this boost option, okay, and I turned it off, but I can't seem to get it figured out 100% that this boost. What it'll do is it'll compensate for the power use on the back of the machine, and it'll speed that engine up, which will then over rev the baler, and it reaches that maximum number. And that tractor the baler doesn't like to be over this 1100 RPMs. It gets around 1160 and it's 1120 to 1150, and it starts yelling at you like, hey, you got to slow your engine down. So I have to get on the book and maybe even call Deere and find out how to make that engine not do what it's doing. 7530 seems to have plenty of power to pull the baler and to run the baler. It's at this critical stage. It's like, okay, yeah, I need more power, and it boosts it, and of course it's fine, other than it's over revving the baler. Now there is an adjustment in the engine compartment size, but then it's not running the engine fast enough. So I just need to turn that off somehow, and I'm pretty sure I know how to do it. I've slept on it now, and we should be pretty good to go. But yeah, so far, new baler's running like a sewing machine. I do have the old baler running good now. We're putting out again about 1,000-pound bale right now, and that's in straw. Bone-ass dry straw. It is so freaking dry down here, you have no idea. Up north, we're worrying about rain, and down south here, they need rain pretty badly. So, wow, somebody's at my house, and because my security system is just dinging right along. So, anyway, yeah, for the initial startup, don't worry about the long cut straw, leaving a lot of stubble behind. They're going to lower those headers down as the combines polish up and get that wax from the wheat onto the metal, polishes it up and then waxes it. It'll feed a lot nicer, and it'll just go through the machine a lot nicer, and of course we'll be able to bale it a lot easier as well. Yeah, so... Oh, and here's another thing. We did wax the tractors and we waxed the balers so that A, they never break, and B, they go faster. I just had to throw that in there. But no, all joking aside, we did wax the balers and the tractors just for the simple reason it's easier to blow them off. If you don't know anything about these baling operations, it is one dusty mother of a job. And as you'll see, Teresa's going to zoom in here on this baling, these two balers coming across the field. We've got them both in the field here, and she'll zoom in on them, and you'll see the dust coming off of these things. The combines don't make near the dust as what the balers do, because the tines are actually making a little contact with the ground. Not much, just a little bit of contact with the ground. And wow, that thing is really ding-donging along. So, yeah. But I think we've headed off to a good start. The stack wagon had a little bit of a hiccup. I don't know what it was, but we figured it out. And I think it was the table was not all the way up, or it was needed to come down. It was something silly like that. But me and Timothy worked at it, got that figured out, put it in automatic mode, and it's working good. The one more note here, these fields are rough because of the wet fall last year, and this wheat had been spun on. So, hope you enjoy the rest of this show. See ya.